Good morning, everybody. Can you hear me okay? Maybe. Oh, we're gonna start this off by being loud. Hey, it's okay. It's okay. Someone just walked past our window. It's okay. All right, let me see if and we're down. All right, I don't know if you can hear me. All right, well, let me go get the dog again. Let me know if you can hear us. Oh, cool. Thanks, Pam. Hold on. You're okay, big ferocious dog. Hi there. There we go, buddy. You just calm down. There you go. Welcome back to Puppy Hours. We just had a man try to get into his car, like, people do, and Blue was concerned. But to be fair, this is his home. But welcome to our usual Friday Puppy Hours here. Move to YouTube. Fun little change of pace here. See if this does a little bit better for us. So welcome. Feel free to drop any comment or questions down in the comment section, and we'll be sure to answer those for you. In the meantime, I'm going to post on Facebook and Twitter that we are here so that all of our friends know to check us out. There. All right. Well, I'm just super glad to see you all. I'm glad that we're able to kind of virtually hang out, even though we can't hang out in person. Here. He's a little bit more awake today, so we'll see if he's going to hang out for a bit or if he plops. This usually is his go-to nap time. What are you thinking, buddy? Do you want to say hi to Instagram Live before we get started here? Hey, Blue. Hey, friends, we are live right now on YouTube. Check it out right there. So be sure to swipe up and head over to YouTube Live to watch this guy do his little live show. All right, thanks, guys. Joel, is that you said you're in Toronto? Well, welcome. You feeling better, buddy? Tell that big dog what's up. Yes, he is awake this time. He was, and he is feeling himself. Are you okay there, pal? You're looking at yourself. He is currently, so the camera's here, right here, and the computer's over here, and he is currently growling at himself because that's normal. Hey, do you want to see that it's yourself? There you go. It's okay. You are curious today, aren't you? Good boy. Hey Jason, training's going really good. We've been working on it. He has now, if you watched last week, buddy, it's you. That's literally you on the TV screen. Yep, that is you. Now you're moving. Now we can't see you because you're moving, and we're moving. Let's see what he decides to do here. My camera cord's only so long. Now he's curious about the chords that are happening. And now he's going to scratch an itch, and he's going to make, hey, do not jump on the table. Blue. Thank you. What? Yes, Pam, he like I was trying to say until he went crazy on me. He is all healed from his neuter. So he is, as I quote, and sorry as I'm trying to show you the dog without being too bouncy here. He is cleared to resume normal Bulldog activities. So we've been going on walks. We resumed all of his training activities. all good to go on that front. So he is thriving and being a good boy for the most part. Hi. Yes, he has grown quite a bit. So when he was introduced, he was about 16 pounds, and now he has doubled that up to 32. So yes, he has grown quite a bit since we've gotten him. So he debuted on January 22nd, and now that we're in April, it's been quite a bit since he's been introduced. So yeah, he's growing like a weed. Pam, you're probably right, but Kennedy has a little bit of work she needs to get done for her own job that she's doing in the other room without Blue distracting her. I have an idea. We'll see if this works out, friend. Okay, so we have this new bone from Benebone called the Zagler. Or no, this is the Pawplexer. Oh, he really likes it. I was gonna put a treat in there and everything, but he just went for it. Now we can move the camera. See if he'll plop there. All right, let me see. Let me see if I can get this all figured out here. There we go. Hey. You may put a treat in there. So you'll see on this new Benebone that we have, it has these grooves where we can put a treat in there and he can try to use it as a puzzle. All right, go take it to your bed. Go take it to your bed. Good boy. All right, well, that might keep him occupied for about 4 minutes. But we'll see. Hi, Lindsay. Working from home is going decently well. My favorite part about this job is seeing all of you guys and hanging out with all of our students and faculty and staff and fans and visitors while we do appearances and at games. And so this is rough for us, but it's important to stay home. So we're staying home. I think we've been home for we've been home since the Thursday of the Big East tournament. Besides going to the grocery store here and there, we've been home. Did you already get that treat out? Go for another one. Atta kid. Jason, yes, we are going to use the same vet as Trip. And so Dr. Kurt Phillips in Cityway Animal Clinics, he has a bunch of different practices. He has Cityway Animal Clinics is what they are called, the full practice, but there is Fountain Square Animal Clinic, Fall Creek Place Animal Clinic, Mass Ave Animal Clinic, and so they are the official vet for the Butler Blues. Elise, we're thinking you might be right that he'll be tall for a bulldog. Trip, our current mascot, is technically tall for an English bulldog, but the long legs just kind of help their mobility. So nothing wrong with that. We kind of prefer it that way. He is in this kind of toddler stage, in their growth, and his sister's in the same place where they kind of it's best described as they look like they're on stilts. So they look like they're a little wonky for a bit as they grow into their bodies. So that's where he's at now, which makes him seem a little bit taller. Hey, Blue, Amber says hi from Houston, Texas. Amber, I went to Houston, Texas once for something Butler related. If you can guess what that was in 2011, let me know. Long question here that might take a little bit of explanation, but it's a good story. It is, how did we decide that he would be the fourth Butler Blue? And so we've been working since May now, almost a year, to locate a breeder, really, and a litter of Bulldogs to evaluate to be the Butler Blue 4. And so anytime a breeder said that they thought they wanted to donate a dog, we took them straight to Dr. Kurt Phillips, our official veterinarian that I just mentioned. And he would vet them and go through their lines, their lineages, their history of health. And then a few months later, we identified his litter, really his mom, who was about to have his litter. He was born. He has two sisters, and the two sisters were looked at as well. But as they grew up, he kind of started to stand out with his demeanor and his stature. He really enjoys being with people. He really enjoys that aspect of being touched and held and posing for pictures. And so he stood out for us to become the next mascot. That's kind of the long and the short of it. Where'd you go? Hey, look what I got. Courtney, the treats we use, I'd go get the bag, but he would attack me. They're called Bill Jack, and he is on the chicken and liver, gross enough, training treats. So they're little soft treats that are about 4 calories a treat. That way we're not pumping him full too much. We also just give him his food as treats quite often. If we're just doing a regular training session out and about where it's nothing too extraneous, we're just having him sit and stay and do his fist bump and his spins without too many distractions, we would give him more of a minor reward for that. And so really his food, he likes it just enough that he takes that as treats. That's a good question, Jason. How many events do we do a year? It's hundreds. It's hard to keep track. I would say on an average week, we do 6 to 7 different appearances in a 5-day period. Obviously, those are on hold right now, but yeah, 5 to 6 a week. So count those up. We are obviously a bit more busy during the basketball season, where you can have 2 or 3 games in a week. But anything else we do, mostly on campus, do a few off-campus events here or there. If you do have a submitted appearance request for Blue, they are all on hold, obviously, for now. We won't be confirming any appearances until we get kind of to a back normal state. Alexis, Blue does do Butler bound in other states. Say New York. Blue hasn't. Oh, buddy, did you already run out of treats again? Here, get the bone. I got one. I got one in my pocket. Always have a dog treat in your pocket. So Trip, our current live mascot, through May 9th, he did Butler Bounds in New York and actually did one in the concourse of Madison Square Garden. So that's pretty awesome. We do Butler Bounds all over. Obviously, we aren't traveling anymore, but next year you can definitely bet that we're going to be traveling quite a bit. Some of the places we've traveled in the past include Chicago, Cincinnati, Milwaukee, Washington, D.C., New York. We've been to Providence, Rhode Island. Michael and Trip went to Omaha, Nebraska. So we've even been to Florida with Trip. We took Trip down to Orlando and Gainesville. Back-to-back summers, actually, we took Trip. Or I guess one was summer, one was December. The first year we were presenting at NACDA, which is an athletics conference. And then the next year, Butler played Florida down in Gainesville. And so we actually took Trip to that game. So, yes, we have traveled quite the distance with Trip. And we have the same exact plans for this buddy. Amber, you have a 2-year-old English Bulldog. What's their name? Bulldog names are always the best names. Wayne, I love it, Amber. I love it. Jason, that's a really good question. Yes, Trip will be staying with Michael. So these dogs are donated to be the Butler Bulldogs. That's what they are. But they do need a family to live with. So Trip goes to the office with Michael every day. He works with Michael. But at the end of the day, he operates basically as Michael's family's pet. So he stays with them. He lives with them all the time. Unless Michael's out of town with his family and Trip's with me, he's with Michael. So, yes, after our Butler Blues retire, they get to stay with their handlers. Michelle, that's a really good question. Why do we decide to call him Blue rather than something associated with the number 4? So Butler Blue, the third, our current live mascot, he is the only dog of our 4 live mascots that do not go by Blue. Butler Blue the third, Trip, he lived with Butler Blue the second for almost a year and a half. Because Michael was the caretaker for both dogs. And so it would be pretty hard to have 2 dogs named Blue in the house at once. And so Trip needed to have the special nickname of Trip, short for triple, to tell them apart. But Butler Blue the first went by Blue, Butler Blue the second went by Blue, and now we get to have Butler Blue the fourth go by Blue once again. There you go, buddy. You just stay on your bed. Or not. And so, yeah, so 3 out of our 4 dogs have gone by Blue. 1 hasn't. But we're pretty excited to be able to go by Blue, and we think that it suits him really well. Hello, Rich. Mallory would like to know where his collar and strap came from. Okay, we'll see if I can give you a better look at it here, Mallory. So this is his harness. And so, you're playful today. And so it wraps around the belly there, and then it clips right here on top. And so we get these at the Butler bookstore. They are available there. You can call in and order online and just search shopbutleru.com, shopbutleru, and you can find the collar, the harness, and the leash that both of our dogs exclusively use. The only thing that is different is we don't use these harnesses when they have their jerseys on, because as they clip in the back there, you can't really clip that through the jersey. So we use a different harness for when they're wearing their jerseys. But they are available at the Butler bookstore, and they're awesome. Blue just graduated to a medium size, which is super sad, and Trip's in the large or the extra large, I believe. There you go. All right, you want your bone? Another really good question that Courtney just dropped in here is if all the dogs come from the same bloodline, and they do not. We do not breed our dogs. Blue actually got neutered a few weeks ago. So we do not breed our dogs by any means. We never have plans to, and we won't. Blue and Trip are distantly related. That wasn't planned. That was purely accidental, but it's kind of funny. So Blue's breeder, she owns Phoebe, and Phoebe is Trip's sister. And so that makes Blue the great nephew of Trip. So that's why we call him Uncle Trip. So they're distantly related, but that wasn't the plan. We never really sought out for that to happen, and we do not breed our dogs. So there is not a singular Butler Blue bloodline. If anybody tells you that they have Blue's or Trip's son or daughter, not true. You can see here his belly's still a little shaved from his neuter that he had a few weeks ago. Hi, Molly. Does Blue sleep through the night? He does. He is very happy to be joining us back in the bed after he has recovered from his boy surgery. Hey, buddy, they can't see you. I think they really would like to see you. There you go. And so now that he doesn't have to have the cone or stay in the crate, he is back in the bed, and he does, in fact, sleep through the night quite well, actually. There is a stretch about 2 weeks after we let him in the bed, and he was got like a weird sleep cycle he was off on. He would sleep like all day and then be up all night. But luckily he kicked that, and he's kind of back to a human sleep schedule, which is nice for us. He's up during the day and he's asleep at night. All right, Karen, I'm reading your comment here. You had a bulldog named Pinky, amazing name, who attended Blue 2's retirement party and a beauty contest. Absolutely, the Bulldog beauty contest is like the best day of the year. And she was mad at you for putting her up on stage. Absolutely, of course she was. Bulldogs are divas. Jason, they work about 7, 8, 9 years. Butler Blue, the first, she worked 4 years until her caretaker got a new job out of state. Butler Blue the second worked 9 years. Butler Blue the third worked 8 years. And so Trip's retiring only because he's 8 years old. You're right, English Bulldogs can be susceptible to a menagerie of different health problems, but Trip is a very healthy Bulldog. Trip does not have any illnesses or ailments at this time, and literally is only retiring because he is 8 years old. Just getting up there for an English Bulldog, and it's just time to let him take things slow for a bit. Ooh, Molly, great question. How did I get my training? The human training, not the dog training. So I attended Butler from 2012 to 2016. I was a college communication student. I had 2 majors of digital media productions and strategic communications. And I started working with Trip and Michael when I was a sophomore, starting as a volunteer basis when really at a 3-hour a week schedule, I would just do videos with Trip and Michael. So if one of the videos was when we tricked out Trip's golf cart, another video was when we took Trip to a pool that they were emptying for the summer, and they invited Trip to come swim. So we just did some small videos of that. There's somewhere in the Butler Blue YouTube archives long, long ago. I wonder if we can dig those up at some point to find those old videos. And so I did those my sophomore year. There's a group of about 20 of us who volunteered to kind of walk Trip, hang out with Trip. And then I kept doing that my junior and my senior year until my senior year. I actually got a full-blown 15-hour-a-week internship with the marketing and communications department at Butler, where the live mascot program is housed. So I was able to do a lot more work with Michael and Trip on a daily basis, learn more what it takes, until I was hired on after I graduated full-time with the marketing department, and started eventually working full-time with just the live mascot program after I graduated. And so I was 40 hours a week with the live mascot program, which was, and fun fact, was the first in the country to have a person dedicated to a live mascot for their entire job. Now, there's been a couple more that have popped up across the country whose full-time jobs are to handle and manage live mascot programs. But so it worked for about 7 years with Michael and Trip before I was chosen to be the handler of Blue here. And so Michael is still very much involved with the program. He still oversees it. He's my supervisor, and he still helps quite often and really hands-on. So the only thing that's really changing is that Blue goes home with me, and then I'll be handling the leash, and Michael will be taking all the photos. Pam, yeah, Bluetooth's illness was a little sudden occurrence. He was already retiring before he developed his illness, and so the torch had been passed already. But yes, when Bluetooth did end up getting sick, it was pretty quick. And how do Bones work? Are they more of a chewing toy, or do they pull pee? They're basically a gnawing and chewing toy. Let me see if I can grab a couple while he's going at them. They're not an official sponsor or anything. It's just a product that we really believe in. Hi, buddy. You want this one? Go get it. Let me see what else. There we go. There's that one. I'm missing a shape, buddy. Oh, I know what it is. Where'd you put it, buddy? This is what happens when you don't clean up your toys. All right. Well, I'm missing one of them, but that's okay. You'll get the gist. Here's 4 out of 5 of the shapes that they have. So this is the one he's been chewing on right now, is the paw plexer. It has this little rubber groove in here where you can stick it's supposed to be a bully stick, but we've just been like shoving treats in there, and he just kind of has to lick them out, and that's been going really well. This is their like most popular shape. It's the wishbone. This one's a peanut butter flavor. And so this one's designed so that they can get a paw on one of the sides and kind of tilt it up into their mouth. But Trip and Blue just usually make us hold them. This one is called the maple stick. It's supposed to simulate the feeling of an actual stick without splintering. So that's good. And then he just kind of gnaws on it. You're doing a really good job of explaining these, pal. And then this one is the dental chew, which is newly designed with smaller holes here for safety. And these extra ridges here help them with their gums. So it just kind of cleans their gums and cleans their teeth. And the other one is the Zagler, which is like a stick with a big ball in the middle of it, and then it like rolls around. But they're pretty good. They love them. Both of our dogs love Bones. They don't splinter. They don't get in there. They don't eat them. Just a nice, healthy alternative, and it keeps their teeth really clean, which is awesome. Courtney, he does have puppy breath still. He didn't. After he had his neuter surgery, he kind of like had a clinical smell to him. He kind of smelled like a hospital. And his breath did too, and it was really weird. But this is probably TMI, but he burped in my face last night, and he definitely still had puppy breath. Bulldogs are known to fart. That is just kind of a thing that happens, but Blue is a burper. So that's a fun fact for you all. He drinks a lot. Whenever he drinks water, you would think this guy is like prepping for a half marathon. He won't go hours of drinking water, and then he'll just drink for like 3 minutes straight. And then he burps because he drinks too fast. Did you just hear a bird? You just heard a bird, didn't you? Oh boy. Hold on. He's thinking about getting up in his chair, which is really my chair. Do you want to get up in your chair? I'll help you. You got it. Here. Then I'll tell you what we can do. We can put a table right in front of you. Don't mind the table, Blue. Here you go, pal. Here, Let me see if I move this. There's that window right there, so it's kind of blowing out the exposure. Let me see. There we go. We can do that. There we go. We got a dog chair cam. It's actually just a regular chair that he's kind of claimed for himself. Pam, we live decently close to campus. We live in a suburb outside of Indianapolis. We have been in talks about moving to campus, but we haven't made an official decision yet if we're going to be doing that yet or not. Are you going to get down after being out there for 45 seconds? Molly, what upsets Blue when I don't feed him enough? He thinks I don't feed him enough. He gets exactly what I'm supposed to give him every single day, but around 6 p.m. at night, he gets fed around 7. He just looks at me like, aren't you going to feed me? Isn't it time? And then he'll just go and sit by his food bowl. So he really gets upset when he thinks I don't feed him enough. I think my wife said it best. We've trained him like Pavlov's dog. When the alarm goes off in the morning, he just jolts up because I take him outside and then I feed him right away when we wake up. And so he gets so excited. He's the only being in America who gets excited when their alarm goes off because he knows he's about to eat. You got a paw itch there, pal. Get at it. What were the interactions between Trip and Blue? Did they get along well? Rachel, no, English Bulldog really gets along with each other super well. They just Bulldogs, and they like to be by themselves and like to be the only dog in the room. But for 2 English Bulldogs, they did. They're pretty good together. They worked quite a few games together in Hinkle, and basically Trip just wanted to be left alone, as typical with an English Bulldog would want to be, whereas an English Bulldog puppy really wants to play. And so, yeah, he wanted to play with Trip. Trip didn't want to play. So that's how that interaction basically went, but decently well. We're happy with it. For how English Bulldogs usually react with each other, we were pretty happy with how it went. Is he afraid of anything? I don't. Right now, it's still kind of hard to decide his barks. He obviously still has 2 different barks like most dogs, where it's an afraid or a play, or really just 3: afraid, play, or a protective bark. He hasn't really barked. Hey, buddy, I can't really show them. There we go. Okay. Where he hasn't really been like an afraid, like a high-pitched bark. Now he's trying to eat the camera. He is very protective, definitely my wife. And so if he's laying on the couch with her, and let's say that guy would walk by again, he might bark, just be like, hey, I know you're there. I'm here. And then he's really curious to have like someone left a ball outside in their yard when we went for a walk. And so he barked at that once. And then something else he's barked at include the vacuum cleaner. Not that he was really too afraid of it by any means, but he was just really curious about what it was. And so he barked and jumped around it until I held him next to the vacuum, let him touch it, and he was good with it after that. Is Blue just as happy going outside in the rain? No, he hates it. The one thing he does hate, I know for a fact that he does not like, is the cold. Blue hates to be cold, just loathes it. So he knows sit and he knows lay down, but he will not do that unless it is like carpet or if it's a warm sidewalk. Please don't do that. You're about to unplug the camera. Please don't do that, buddy. There we go. Okay. Hey, hold on. We'll be back. Let me get another treat for him. See if he'll keep playing, and then I'll answer your question. There you go. Take it to your bed. Okay, we're back. So he hates the cold, like I was saying, and so he won't do any of his tricks where he has to lay down or where he has to touch his butt to the floor. And so he doesn't like to be cold. Now that's going to change as he gets bigger and a little chunkier. He'll appreciate a nice cold floor. Trip, our current live mascot, he really does appreciate a really nice hardwood cold floor. And so I think once Blue gets a little bit bigger, it gets a little hotter here in Indiana. He'll start to like this cool hard floor that we have here. So no, if it's raining and cold, he only once have I been like, "Hey, buddy, we have to go to bed. I really need you to go to the bathroom before," and I forced him to go out in the rain. But usually he'll just pop out, go potty, and come back in. James, we'll do tricks here in a bit. I'll let him chew on this bone, and then I'll see if I can give him some tricks for sure. He knows sit, stay, lay down, spin. He does a fist bump when I say go dogs. And then he does leave it whenever he wants to do something that he doesn't, or he's doing something we don't want him to do. And he also knows drop it really well. Courtney, right now we are on Purina Pro Plan puppy chicken and rice. So it's a really basic, healthy formula for them that our vet recommended. He loves it. I know Indiana weather, Madeline, is rough on him. I think last night we went on a walk and it was like 65 in a light breeze. That was the perfect weather for him. Hi, Anna, do you have to be in communications to volunteer with the dogs? Right now we're not taking volunteers just because it's so crucial in his training time, and they're out and about so much that if we have volunteers, we can't really keep a set schedule with them. Our schedule really changes so much day to day with appearances or last minute things that we need to go see. And so it's hard for us to keep a volunteer schedule. We will continue to have a Butler Blue intern though next year. Ellie, yes, Blue is the biggest cuddler in the world. If you're on the couch, he is basically on top of you. He'll choose a person and then that is his person. He will be on top of them until they move. See if I can get a little closer look for you guys. There we go. Doing a little doggy yoga for you. You get the treat, buddy. You did a good job. Uh-oh. I did have to break out a classic mug for my coffee this morning, friends. I thought I'd show you real quick. All right, so we have this mug now updated for Blue 4 here in Uncle Trip, but I am rocking the intern mug from when Trip was, I think that's 6 weeks old there. Please don't drink the coffee, Blue. And then, of course, on the other side, it is Butler Blue the second. There we go, as the boss. And so that mug is available now in the Butler bookstore, updated with this puppy and now Trip as the boss. So be sure to check that out as well. But I thought I'd rep the old one for now. Hey, want to get on your bed? Good boy. How old was he when he started his training? It's kind of difficult. His formal training began on February 3rd. Uh-oh, he needs to go potty. That means he needs to go potty. So what I'm going to do, friends, I'm going to put the camera on the bed real quick. And so I want to take him out. He just needs to go. Oh, maybe not. He is now attacking a rabbit. And we're out of focus. What do you think, pal? See if I can get this focus back for you guys. Apparently he doesn't need to go outside because he quickly just went back to going through his toy box. All right, I'll just go back to questions. So his breeder, when he was in their home, they were a married couple. So they would train him, started taking him outside potty at a pretty early age, around 8 weeks is when you can start attempting to train a dog or an English Bulldog. And then when I got him home, I started doing some potty training and some simple sit training. And then his formal training began on February 3rd when he was, how old was he then? About 13 weeks, 14 weeks old. Elliot, I did not work with Trip when Blue 2 was around. I was just a mere fan when Michael had both dogs. So I was in Hinkle watching the games like all of you, watching from afar. But then once Blue 2 retired, I started working with Trip. I want to see if I can fix this focus, friends, because that's not a good look. There we go. Another question from Natalie. Has he chewed up anything he's not supposed to? He has tried. I watch him like a hawk. He doesn't really go anywhere. He's not really alone at any time. That's what I figured, buddy. You do need to go potty. Okay, so I'm going to take him potty real quick. I'll just have the camera back on his bed, and we'll be right back, and I will answer the question about if he chewed anything up. Let's go potty. Leash it up here, pal. Good job, Blue. Good job, pal. Here, you want to chew on this bone again? You did a good job going outside. You get a treat. So that was pretty awesome. We never really taught him that he needed to go to the door to let us know that he had to go potty. But he just kind of did it himself. One thing we did do in his training is we always took him out. That door went out when it was time to go potty. And so he just knows that that's the door where he gets to go outside to go potty. So he just started standing by there. One day we realized that he was sitting there, took him out, and he went straight to the bathroom. So we're happy with that he kind of tells us when he needs to go like that. Okay, what question was I on? Has he chewed anything up he's not supposed to? Like I said, he has tried, but I kind of watch him like a hawk. The things that he has gone for are shoes, specifically my wife's Birkenstocks. He likes to find those and try to hide them. But he knows what he's not supposed to chew on. And so he just kind of tries to be a little sassy or deviant about it, or he'll go pick something up he's not supposed to and then kind of trot past you like, look what I got. And then you can just take it away. He drops it pretty quick. He doesn't try to fight you for it. Other things he's grabbed have included 2 different oven mitts, 3 different pairs of my shoes, and blanket tassels. So we have a few blankets that have tassels on them, and he likes to try to grab those. When he was teething, he would go for sleeves quite a bit, like long sweater sleeves, but we were able to nip that habit pretty quickly. Pam, that's awesome. So Pam said that she was sad about her intern boss mug breaking, and a fan here that was watching with her sent her an extra one all the way from Texas. So thank you so much for being kind and caring folks. That's what the Butler way is all about, is that selflessness and helping them out. So that was awesome. Thank you for doing that. While we have a break in the action here, I will remind you, if you are a Butler first year, sophomore, or junior, we will be going live with you on Instagram live here at noon. So Blue will be accepting requests to be a part of his live video. You can get a screenshot of yourself hanging out with Blue, and then we'll just ask you a few questions about how you're doing, how you're and how you're handling taking all your classes online, how things are going at home. But we'd love to have you Butler students who are first years, sophomores, or juniors. Trip went live with seniors yesterday, and it was awesome. So if you are watching and you are a Butler student, or you know a Butler student, you're the parent of a Butler student, make sure that they are on Blue's Instagram at noon, and we will love to hang out with them for a bit. Madeline, yes, some of the money goes back to the live mascot program for the mugs. We are run entirely based off of appearance fees, sponsorships, donations, and partnerships, and licensing. So there is a small piece of the licensing that comes back when you make a product, basically with the dogs on it or with the dog's name. And so we get a little piece of that back to support the live mascot program. So any purchase of anything with these dogs' faces or mugs on them helps basically make them make more merchandise. Laura, your son finally decided to be Butler bound. Oh my goodness, that's awesome. We are so excited to have him be a Bulldog and join the pack. That's my favorite thing, is to hear when people have decided to join the Butler family. So welcome to him. We're excited to have him. And you ordered your own little family swag, and you got your own Boston intern mug. I love it. You got to have good Butler. I don't remember the last time I wore something that was not Butler. Amy asked if I'm moving on campus with Blue next year. That is still TBD. Natalie wants to know if he likes to wear his Butler jersey or other costumes. He doesn't seem to mind it by any means. Trip, he is able to figure out that if he's wearing his jersey, he's going to do something really fun. But Blue here hasn't really figured that out yet. But he doesn't really fight me when I put him on it, and he just kind of goes about his business when he puts it on. He hasn't really tried on any other costumes. He had a coat that I bought so I knew that I was going to get a dog way before you guys knew I was getting a dog. And so, of course, I bought all the dog things early. And I bought a coat that I thought would be the perfect size for Blue when he came home. But it was not. It was not the perfect size at all. And so I tried to put him on it, but he was way too small. But he doesn't really seem to mind putting on clothes or anything. Kelly, he's not crate training. He likes his crate. Doesn't really take any special training anymore to get him into his crate. We'll give him a treat here or there if he does a really good job getting into his crate. But he slept in his crate through the night when he had his cone on from his neuter. But other than that, he just sleeps in the bed with us. He doesn't really need his crate unless if we go somewhere without him, we do still crate him just because he still likes to chew things. And I'm pretty sure if I let him loose in the house, he would chew something up if I wasn't paying attention to him. He did try to get a dryer sheet yesterday, so that was fun. I'm loving this. I'm going through Instagram now and seeing your puppies tagging Blue as they're watching Blue on Puppy Hours. I love it. Thank you for sending those in to us. Hey, get back on your bed. People want to see your face. Hi. Are you trying to get up on the bed or onto the couch? Oh, you want more treats? Is that what you want? Well, I'm running out, pal, and you've already had it quite a bit. Let's see. Here we go. There it is. Good job. Ooh, Nancy, really good question. Are all the blue mascots always boy dogs? They're not. We really don't have any standards or guidelines when it comes to gender of the dog, coloring of the dog. Butler Blue the first was an all-white female, so she was our first Butler Bulldog. And then Butler Blue the second was a fawn and white male. Butler Blue the third was a red brindle male bulldog. And then blue here is this reddish brown and white male bulldog. So we've had 3 males and 1 female. So we're not picky. We just want a really good, healthy bulldog. But great question. Mal has a great question. Wants to know how his sisters are doing. So Blue does have 2 sisters. He has Pickles, who is very similar coloring to Blue. Has this same like red brown. Here you go, pal. I have no more treats for you. You did them all. You got all the treats. Good job. I'm proud of you for eating all the treats. Now here's your bone. Here's your other bone. Here's a third bone. And a fourth. They're doing really good. So Princess Pickle Juice is basically the same color as Blue here. And then Marshmallow is an all-white female from the litter. So he was the firstborn in a litter of 3. And they're doing great. They're really fun dogs to hang out with. I miss them. We used to hang out with them a bit. But now that we are sheltering in place, we haven't seen them in a while, and so I miss them. How did I know which one from the litter was going to be Blue? We watched them quite a bit in their first few weeks of life. You just tripped over the rug, buddy. And so we did a couple photo shoots with them at 5 weeks old. We were able to watch their demeanor there. Me, Kennedy, Michael, Trip, the whole Colomark family. We went to visit Blue and his 2 sisters. At the time, they were not named, just in case, because we didn't know which dog would be which dog. And we just kind of hung out with them, see what their demeanor was like, see what they like to do, if they like people. And all 3 dogs would have made good mascots. I have no doubt about that. They're all 3 just remarkable English bulldogs. You might want to play fetch. Let me see if I'll do that. Here, you want your fish taco? Go get it.